Afternoon, everyone. We continue to vaccinate a lot of Ohioans across the state at over 1,300 locations. Cleveland State, the Wolstein Center, we are now up to about 46,000 people that have been vaccinated just in that one location. This afternoon, we're opening up appointments for a final segment of the first dose vaccines at the Wolstein Center. The third week of first dose vaccines at the Wolstein Center will begin March 31st and will end April 5th. Following that segment, we will begin giving second doses starting Tuesday, April 6th. So the first 3 weeks were first doses, then week 4, 5, and 6 will be the second doses for the people who were there first, second, and third week. So there'll be no first doses given weeks 4, 5, and 6. So Ohioans can visit gettheshot.coronavirus.ohio.gov. That's gettheshot.coronavirus.ohio.gov, or they can call the COVID-19 call center at 1-833-4-ASK-ODH. That's 1-833-4-ASK-ODH to schedule appointments. Again, for people who can't use, don't want to use computer, they can go and make these calls. Let me now turn to the announcement about other mass vaccination sites that we have planned throughout the state. We've talked about these before, but we're now getting closer in time. We will have 11 stationary sites, and I'll read those locations in a moment. We'll also have 4 mobile clinics. All of this is open to anyone in the state, 16 years of age and older. Locations will be primarily, again, depending on supply, but primarily, we believe, offering Johnson & Johnson vaccines. That's the one shot. In some cases, they may offer Pfizer or Moderna. And again, this depends on what supplies come into the state. Assuming the vaccine arrives on time next week, this all will start on Wednesday. And again, everyone needs to watch their local media, and we'll keep everybody informed, make sure everybody knows the exact date that this will start, and also specifics about the location. But let me just go through some of these locations. These sites will be the following: NYSA Columbus in Lima. They will be allocated at least the first week, 2,500 doses. Lucas County Rec Center will have 5,000 doses a week. Dayton-Montgomery County Convention Center will have 5,000 doses a week. The Celeste Center, State Fairgrounds in Columbus, 5,000 doses a week. Summit County Fairgrounds will have 5,000 doses a week. The site of the former Dillard's at the Southern Park Mall in Mahoning County will have 2,500 doses a week. Cintas Center in Cincinnati will have 5,000 doses a week. The Wilmington Air Park, again, not far off the interstate, will have 5,000 doses a week. And again, we believe these are all going to start Wednesday, assuming that we get the vaccine. In addition to those, we have 3 more. Adena Medical Education Center in Ross County will have 2,500 doses a week. Wayne Street Medical Campus in Marietta will have 1,500 doses a week. Colony Square Mall in Muskingum County will have 1,500 doses a week. Again, this is scheduled to start on Wednesday. And all of these are in addition to our 1,300 other sites that we will continue to put vaccine through. The 4 mobile clinics, I'm going to talk about 2 of them. Ohio Northern University's mobile clinic will start next week also, and Ohio University's mobile clinic is scheduled to start the week of April 5th. There'll be 2 other mobile clinics, one based in Jefferson County, one based in Richland County, and they'll be traveling to surrounding communities to help with vaccinations there. And again, the local media will have this information as we get a little closer in time. Just as an example, though, on the chart you see here, this is our mobile unit 1 slide. Dates. This is Ohio University's mobile clinic will travel between Lawrence County and Meigs counties on Tuesdays. Every other Wednesday it will be in Vinton County. On alternating Thursday it will be in Washington County. And on select Saturdays it will either be in Morgan or Perry counties. So again, people will have to watch the newspaper and see this online, and we'll have more information as we get closer. The Ohio Northern Mobile Clinic will alternate between Wyandotte and Marion counties on Tuesday. It will be in Union County on Wednesdays. It will alternate between Logan and Crawford counties on Thursdays, and it will be in Hardin County on Friday. Appointments for most of these vaccination clinics will be open by Saturday, this Saturday, in our state central scheduling tool. Check gettheshot.coronavirus.ohio.gov for appointments. Details about the mass vaccination clinics, including times and locations, can be found on our coronavirus website at coronavirus.ohio.gov. Please check there for additional information. In total, this coming week, we will have flowing into the state and available. They usually arrive on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, sometimes into Thursday. 571,460 doses of these 3 vaccines. That is the number for next week. This is by far the highest amount that we have received. So if you had trouble in the past getting it, we just ask you, this is an opportunity. 571,000 over that doses available this coming week. Number includes the state's allocation, the number large retail pharmacies are receiving directly through the federal government, what we have available at the Wolstein Center, and these mass vaccination clinics. I think it's great news for everyone, and we're very happy about this. Earlier this week, I announced that the COVID vaccine providers who were having difficulty filling appointments for this week with currently eligible groups could schedule Ohioans 16 years of age and older for these appointments. So we said earlier in the week, look, if you can't fill your slots for this week, we don't want that vaccine sitting. We want it out as quickly as possible. And so what you've seen is I think about half of the health departments have opened up, at least a number of them have, and some other places have as well. So to support these providers, beginning this weekend, we have simplified our portal, our registration process on our gettheshot.coronavirus.ohio.gov website. We have simplified it to reflect the fact that those 16 years of age and older are now eligible. Most appointments for this weekend, many of them are filled, but we want to make sure every dose is distributed. Ohioans seeking vaccine appointments for this weekend or future dates are encouraged again to visit gettheshot.coronavirus.ohio.gov. Since the beginning of the pandemic, we have focused a lot on encouraging equity in the COVID-19 response. We are now, of course, into the vaccination phase, and we're doing the same thing. We're seeing good success, but we will continue to work as hard as we can, and I know local communities are doing the same thing to make sure every Ohioan, no matter where they live, no matter what their circumstance, has access to the vaccine. We are seeing clinics, which is what the technical term is used when there's a vaccination site set up. We're seeing clinics put on by the Ohio Department of Aging and the Ohio National Guard, working together in partnership with many local entities, including area agencies on aging, local health departments, health districts, and regional housing authorities. To date, Ohio has hosted 103 of those clinics, bringing vaccine to over 5,000 older Ohioans by this effort. So it's taking it primarily to where they live, senior housing centers. We have many of these future clinics scheduled, and we have a long way to go, but we're going to continue to work through those. And so if individuals have not out, it makes it very accessible to them and takes it literally right to where they live. We'll go now to Dr. Vanderhoff and talk a little bit, Doctor, if you could, about, we're into the spring break, or we will be shortly, depending on the school, depending on the schedule. And I know we've been receiving some calls and people have been asking for guidance in regard to, should I travel? Where should I travel? What do I do? And wonder if you could just comment on that for us.
Yes, thank you very much, Governor. Well, spring is definitely here. And of course, that brings us some warmer temperatures, more sunshine. And I think we're all eager for a break after a long COVID winter. That can really tempt us, though, to lower our guard. Now, there's no doubt we're getting closer to victory every day. As the governor shared, more vaccines are getting into arms. But we have to recognize that we're not at that finish line yet. States all around us are seeing an upswing in cases, and we continue to see more variant activity. Now, the CDC continues to advise that travel can increase our risk of getting or sharing COVID-19. So we're encouraging Ohioans to consider staying home this spring. If, however, you choose to travel, we recommend you first get vaccinated. That when you do travel, you wear a mask whenever you're in public or with people outside your household, that you keep 6 feet away from others as much as possible, and frequently wash your hands. Now, if you haven't been vaccinated, limit your activities outside the home for a couple of weeks after you return, and get tested promptly if you develop any symptoms of COVID-19. We're in the final stretch of this marathon, so let's keep up our masking and distancing, even as more and more of us roll up our sleeves to get vaccinated. Thank you, Governor.
So, Doctor, probably what you say is kind of an incentive, I would think, if people have not had the opportunity to get vaccinated or not done that, good opportunity to do that. They still have to be careful. It takes a while for the immunity to fully come up. But, traveling, getting the vaccination is certainly a smart thing to do. So thank you. Thank you very, very much. I want to talk for a moment about nursing homes and assisted living in regard to vaccinations. We started, as you know, day one. When we could vaccinate people, we went right into the nursing homes. And we've had great success. About 90% of the people who live in the nursing homes have taken the vaccine. Less numbers with employees, but a fairly decent number. And what we want to make sure, though, as we move forward, now that we've gone through these homes 3 times, 3 different visits, we want to make sure that when a new resident comes in, if that person has not been vaccinated, we want to make sure that they get vaccinated. If a new employee is hired and they come in and they have not been vaccinated, we want to make sure they have the opportunity to do that. Or if it's a resident who's been there a while or an employee who's been there a while who thought, gee, I'm going to wait. I don't want to get it. But now has decided now's the time to get it. We want to make sure, no matter what nursing home that is, they have the ability to get that vaccine. So we set up a program that we call the Vaccine Maintenance Program. And it's working well. We're getting vaccines into nursing homes on a regular basis so that they can, in turn, vaccinate those people in the nursing home who want it and who have not been able to receive it. We have a large number of nursing homes in the state of Ohio. I think over 900. We have over 700 assisted living facilities in the state of Ohio. And most of them have signed up with our program and are getting the vaccine. However, despite repeated efforts, we have some that we just have not heard from. And if you have someone living in one of those nursing homes or assisted living, it's just important that everybody who's there has the opportunity to get the vaccine. So we're today, after this press conference, going to put up on our webpage the assisted living and the nursing homes that have not gotten the vaccine, or at least have not told us they have the vaccine. They've not signed up for our program. Repeatedly, we've asked them to sign up, and they've not done so. So we will be listing the names of 56 nursing homes and 158 assisted living facilities. Now, I suppose it's possible they may have made their own arrangements to get the vaccine, but we don't know that. And what our fear is that people in the nursing home are not being protected as well as they could be protected because the vaccination is not continuing. Nursing homes have people in and out as far as new residents. They have new employees. We must make sure that these people have the opportunity to get vaccinated. So again, I would urge those nursing homes and those assisted living who we've not heard from to give us the information, sign up. We'll get you the vaccines, and you'll be better able to protect the people who live, the residents in your nursing home or your assisted living. Eric, let's go to the data today. Okay, we will start our standard slide. As you can see, we are really at a point now where our cases have plateaued. The plateau continues. There's some indication it might be going up, but I don't think Dr. Vanderhoff told me today he's not ready to label it that way yet, and we hope that's not what happens. So a plateau, and that's where we are. So coming down, we were coming down for a number of weeks. Very happy about that. That has stopped. We're now here. Eric, let's take a look at the next slide. So these are all the different counties that we have, and what you'll see is, and I'll talk about in a moment. Some of these have changed. Some have gone up. Some have gone down. So again, what you see there represents really a plateau. Eric? Again, these are the highest ones. Clark County. Clark County leads off again, followed by Monroe County. So two counties very dissimilar, different parts of the state, but there are our top two incidents. And again, the incidence is about 2.5 times what the CDC calls a high incidence level. Eric, let's take a look at the next one. We've been watching these numbers, and now our number is pretty much flattened out. If you remember, we set a goal. And just as the cases have plateaued out, so this number now has plateaued out. For the past few weeks, I've shown you the statewide case rate per 100,000 population over that 2-week period of time. 3 weeks ago, we were just under 180. Last week, we were at 143.8. Today, we're at 146.9, so it's slightly up. Slightly higher than last week. Cases have consistently fallen statewide since our peak in December, but that decline has stopped, and we have now really flattened that out. A statewide case rate of 146.9 is still very high. It's certainly a lot lower than it was in December when we were hitting our peak. So we just have to continue to work on this, and again, it's the defense wearing the mask against the offense and vaccinate. And we're going to get a lot of people vaccinated this week, and we're going to continue to do everything we can to drive this virus to the ground. Along with the plateaued statewide case rate, we're seeing 52 counties with an increase in their county level cases per 100,000 compared to last week. Eric, we'll take a look at the next slide. Because of this, we saw 5 counties move to a higher level on the advisory system this week. Auglaize County moved from yellow to red. Their cases per 100,000 increased from 48 to 85. Pretty big jump. 4 counties moved from yellow to orange because their cases per capita rates increased. That's Meigs, Mercer, Shelby, and Vinton. So they moved from yellow to orange up. Even though there are 5 counties moving up, there are also 8 counties that are dropping. We're down to 55 red counties this week, the lowest number of counties since October 29th. 6 counties moved from red to orange because they dropped below the 100 cases per 100,000 threshold. These new ones who have dropped down, Brown, Columbiana, Coshocton, Fulton, Lawrence, and Logan. Holmes and Van Wert counties dropped from orange to yellow because their cases per 100,000 fell below 50. As the decrease in cases slows, we may see some back and forth movement of counties in the advisory system. Let's look at the hospitalizations. We have seen the last 2 days an uptick, and again, this is the number of people who have COVID, admitted for COVID in the hospital, and those numbers have gone up. It's usually a lagging indicator. We're not deeply concerned about this yet, but as we watch the cases, as the cases go, then a few weeks later, we generally see it reflected here one way or the other. Eric, we'll go to the next one. Anything else? So this is just out in the last half an hour. These are the number of vaccinations, first doses. As you will see, great day yesterday with 80,000. 80,000 was showing, so we're very happy about that. And you can see, if you look at the age, you see now that some of our older age groups, for example, 80, we have now gone over 70% of the people in the state of Ohio who are 80 years of age or older who have gotten the vaccine. And we hope those numbers will continue to creep up, move up. But we're happy to have them at 70. We'll see several of the other ones are either close to 70, either close to 70 or almost there. Thanks, Eric. I want to give you a little update on Department of Jobs and Family Services. We have several announcements that we are making today to ensure Ohioans in need get access to unemployment funds as quickly as possible. Ohio has signed an agreement with Google to conduct data analytics on all outstanding claims. This is one of the first things that the private sector group told me when they came in, is drilling down on this data and doing it in a very, very sophisticated way. By leveraging a large universe of data points, Google can quickly review claims for markers and patterns of fraud, pulling these likely fraudulent claims, allowing our adjudicators to prioritize and quickly process legitimate outstanding claims is what we can do by pulling these likely fraudulent claims out. So you get them out, and then you're left to prioritize and quickly process what is remaining, which is legitimate claims. Second announcement, I'm announcing that former United States Attorney for the Southern District of Ohio, David DeVillers, will join our P3 team as a law enforcement subject matter expert. He will serve as a liaison between Jobs and Family Services and local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and federal law enforcement. He has a unique background in complex investigations and a background in dealing with matters with international components and connections. So we're very happy to have him on board and to have his ability. We'll now go to Lieutenant Governor.
Thanks, Governor. I have an update, a technology update today regarding the Innovate Ohio team and some of the things that it's been working on. As you know, when we created Innovate Ohio, one of the goals was to use technology to improve the way we serve our customers, the people of the state of Ohio. And what COVID brought a sense of urgency to was to have less human interaction where people have to appear in person, and that has health benefits, but it also saves people time and money. And we're going to focus today on the BMV. One of the longstanding goals is for people never to have to stand in line at the BMV and for people to actually appear in person less frequently by eliminating the need for that. And we've done a number of things, including allowing you to print your temporary tags online. We've expanded the number of vehicle classes that are eligible for online renewal. Customers purchasing a vehicle from the dealer no longer have to go to the BMV. They can get their initial registration and plate without going to the physical office. And then the new online system allowing for renewals of apportioned vehicles involving interstate commerce. But today's announcement, and then I should also mention the Get In Line online tool that we're allowing people to reserve their space when they do have to go to the BMV, to do it online, receive a text message, and then they'll be queued up to be the first in line once they get to the physical office. But today we want to focus on the BMV website, which is bmv.ohio.gov. We have a number of improvements here that, thanks to the Innovate Ohio team, the folks at BMV, and the Citizen Interaction Work Group from Innovate Ohio put together to improve the way we serve our customers. And there are 4 basic features that I want to highlight. I think some of you saw the video here, if you can see that, about what the old system looked like versus the new one. First of all, your authentication. When you check in, we're going to make it easier for you to have to not enter as much data, to queue yourself in so that you know that you're queued into the system. We're improving the search feature, and this is a big deal. It used to be that you would search something on the website, but you actually would have to go outside using the Google search system, and it would give you a lot less thorough of a search about what you were actually looking for on the BMV website. You had to go to the search feature. You had to kind of narrow down what you were looking for. Now we're using new artificial intelligence on the site itself to allow you to search that and get to where you want to go immediately. So you don't have to fiddle around with it and use the outside search mode to do that. Additionally, you could have your own personalized BMV profile now. I think this is a really great feature. You can check out your own driver's license to see whether you're an organ donor, what your driving record is. There are a lot of things that are on the BMV website that are personalized to you. Rather than having to search 10 different pages like you would have had to do it before, now we give you your own personalized profile. And we've made it, the 4th thing, mobile device friendly. So that you can get through this. Additional features allow it to be more ADA compliant. We know that there are a million things that you'd rather be doing than waiting in line at the BMV or trying to figure out the website. And this redesign will make it easier for you to do all of those things. I want to thank the Citizen Interaction Work Group, which is chaired by Alex Tim, who's on the Innovate Ohio board. Alex is the CEO of Root Insurance. They really have made this so much more customer service friendly, which is what we want to do, which is why we created Innovate Ohio. And I encourage you to take it for a spin. There's more coming on this, including online driver's license renewal, ordering replacements of driver's licenses online, electronic vehicle titling, self-service terminals, online driver examinations, at least the written portion of this. All of this is going to enable us to do more of those kinds of things in the near future to improve, to save people time and money. And along that front, Governor, I don't even think you know this yet. And so this is going to be good news to you that we won an award this week from Government Technology Magazine. The state of Ohio did, Team Ohio's tech team did, for being one of the top 25 doers, dreamers, and drivers of innovation around the country to improve the way state and local government uses technology to improve its services. And Team Ohio won this. The Innovate Ohio team, Irvin Rogers from our state CIO, and everybody who works on these projects were recognized for our work in this area. I want to thank all of them. We also received recognition for our COVID-19 pandemic response for the tech team of keeping people safe and providing better access to health, property, security, livelihood, and prosperity information. I want to thank them for that, acknowledge our state technology staff who work so hard on this. We're not patting ourselves on the back by making you aware of this, but we're not content. But I want to make sure that people know that we're taking this seriously as a state. Ohio's tech team is leading what I would call a cultural change in the way that we approach technology. We have people inside state government, people outside state government who are really stepping up to the challenge to use technology to better serve our customers. And this is important because when you're an innovative, creative state, and what our goal is to be the most innovative, creative state in the Midwest, to be a tech-savvy state, that culture changes many ways, changes things in many ways, saving people time and money, being more attractive to business. And I want to thank everybody who were part of putting Ohio on the map as one of the top 25 doers, dreamers, and drivers. And the BMV website upgrade and all we're doing there is just one example of improving the way we serve our customers. So I wanted you to know that, Governor, wanted all of Ohio to know that, and send it back to you.
Well, John, that's great news, and thanks to all who made that happen. All on the team took a lot of effort. So that is really, really, really good news. Before we go to questions, I want to take a moment to acknowledge a member of the news media who has covered, I think, virtually every one of these coronavirus press conferences for the last year. And today, I'm told, will be the last briefing for Randy Ludlow of the Columbus Dispatch. Randy started his career in journalism at a young age, I'm told 15, spent 5 decades in journalism, started as a copy boy at age 15. Randy is certainly well-known, noted, respected for his relentless pursuit of the truth, relentless pursuit of public records, for his storytelling, coverage of state and national politics. And so, Randy, we wish you all the best in the future as you spend time with your family. We thank you for a very, very significant and meaningful career. And because it's your day today, you get to ask the first question, and I just know that your normal probing, sharp questioning will not be any different in the last question. So you're up.
Well, thank you, Governor, for that undeserved praise, and it should immediately be suspect coming from a politician. But that aside, I thank you. It's been a privilege of a lifetime to ferret out fact and dig for truth for our readers, and I leave with some bittersweet feelings, but hope to keep my hand in it on some level. That said, Governor, how we're making progress here. Over a fourth of Ohioans now have at least a first shot. That figure is 63%, age 60 and above. Record number of doses next week. How disappointing is it that we're stalling out on the measure to eventually lift health orders?
Well, I think the good news, Randy, is that we're doing well, and we have the ability in the next 89 days, I say 89 days because the bill doesn't go into effect for 89 days, we have the ability to end this. We can drive this virus to the ground, but it's going to take all of us, members of the General Assembly, but everybody in every community, to encourage everyone to get vaccinated. We're going to move pretty quickly from a point where we didn't have enough vaccine until we do have plenty of vaccine. And then the question is, can we reach that herd immunity? Can we get enough people vaccinated? Will enough people be willing to be vaccinated? So all of us, whatever people have thought about the health orders, all of us coming together, we can have a common cause, and that is to get everyone vaccinated that wants to be vaccinated. And I think in that period of time, and I hope before, certainly hope before, don't know, that we'll be able to get control of this and move on. I've thought that summer will be a good summer, and I still think it will. Just a couple maybe other comments. The bill that you referenced, really because of that, is about the future. And my passion in describing to members of the public in the General Assembly the problems with this bill did not come from what it will do with me or, in all likelihood, what it's even going to do with this pandemic. My passion comes from my deep concern and belief that this is not the only crisis we will face. It may be the next one. We don't know when it will be. It may be a national, international crisis like this one. It may be something that impacts a community when someone comes in from an area that has Ebola and they come in and the local health department no longer has the ability to quarantine them. Or it may be something as simple but as dangerous as bad lettuce, where a general order cannot be issued for anybody who may have bought that to take certain action. Restaurants, maybe it's unknown exactly all the restaurants that got it. A general order will no longer be able to be allowed, and the local health department will not have that. So that's what where my passion came from. I was happy to see that on the floor yesterday, there was at least one member, a very prominent person, who talked about some of the problems with the bill. And quite candidly, I will tell you that in calls that I've made last few days before the vote, there were members who acknowledged to me, told me they were going to vote for the bill, told me they were going to vote to override my veto, but acknowledged that there were real problems connected with the bill. So let's hope that the General Assembly will, understanding that, will take the appropriate action. But I just, I believe that we move on. It's time for us to come together. We all want to see this virus gone. No one wants to see it gone any more than I do. And so let's work together. Let's, for the next few weeks, next several months, whatever it's going to take, keep our mask on when we're out with other people, and just really encourage everyone to get vaccinated. I can tell you that I'm going to do everything in my power to make that vaccine available to every single Ohioan. And we're going into places where maybe people don't have the ability to get it. Sometimes they don't have the ability to go out of their house. And we're going to continue that effort. And it's an effort that is, I think, working well now that we have a vaccine, a lot of vaccine. And it's being driven a lot by people at the local level. And that's what's good about this. This is Ohioans helping Ohioans. You go into any vaccination site, Randy, and I know, saw a picture, you got your vaccination, but you go into those places and everybody's happy, and you see volunteers, you see Ohioans pitching in. That's what we got to do. Let's drive this thing to the ground, and let's move on.
Governor, next question is from John London at WLWT in Cincinnati.
Hey, John.
Governor, I'm not sure what I was doing at 15, but I assure you I wasn't starting a career, so I join you in commending Randy and wish him well. The data you alluded to shows we are not much closer to that magic number that we were a week or two ago. And I wonder if there is any correlation to the variants. What's the latest variant number? And what's your level of concern? And aside from masks and social distancing, is there any other step that you can recommend to get that needle moving swiftly in the right direction?
Yeah, I'm going to go in a moment to Dr. Vanderhoff. He can give you the medical side of this, epidemiology in regard to that. But look, I think we're in this race, John, and it's literally a race between how fast we can get people vaccinated and how fast people are willing to take the vaccine versus the variant. And, we now have, it looks like, enough firepower just to keep going and going. And, we've already taken basically a fourth of the people out of the game in the sense of not being able to spread it much and not being able to go from person to person. Dr. Vanderhoff, if you want to comment about the variant and exactly where that might be in Ohio and how that's playing out in these numbers.
Yes, certainly. Thank you very much, Governor. First of all, there are really two phenomena at play here. One is the fact that this virus has consistently shown an ebb and flow that has it rising every 90 to 100 days. Well, we're at about 90 to 100 days from the last time it did that. And as we've been expecting, Ohio is seeing more and more of 3 in particular of the 5 variants of concern. The so-called UK variant, which is B117, that's what we're seeing the most of. And then we're seeing some of the so-called California variants, B1 427 and 429, which are very, very closely related. Now, as we look at that, it's the distribution is really across the state, and that has been from the first time that we saw these and continues to be the case now. And we've been talking for really weeks about our expectation that as we move into March and April, that we've been expecting a growing presence of these more contagious variants, especially B117, which, as we expected, is leading the way. Now, as the number of these variants grow, they really underscore just how important it is for all of us to get vaccinated, and in the meantime, to be masking, maintaining physical distancing, and hand washing, because those remain our best protection. Putting that all together, I'm actually encouraged that in terms of what we're seeing overall in Ohio, and I think that just as the governor has suggested, we're in a race. We're in a race to get enough people vaccinated that we stay ahead of these more contagious variants. And I'm encouraged by the pace at which, in fact, that is happening here in the state. But we've got to keep doing it. And in the meantime, as I commented on before when I was talking about spring break, masking and distancing remain important components of our response.
Thank you, Doctor.
Next question is from Jesse Balmert at the Cincinnati Enquirer.
Hello, Governor.
Jesse?
My question is Ohio properly distributing the vaccine doses if we have excess appointments in places like Urbana and Xenia, whereas people in Cincinnati and Columbus might be struggling to get an appointment? And how will the state redistribute those doses as we continue?
Jesse, I think we are. We started with the idea, the basic principle, that we wanted every Ohioan, whether they lived in Vinton County, one of our smallest county, Meigs County, or whether they lived in Cuyahoga County or Franklin County or Hamilton County, that they would have access within their community to these doses. And so we have a formula. It's a formula of basically 80% based upon population. And when we say population, I put an asterisk by that, only because to explain it, it means when we started at 80, it was people over, you took the population in each county of people over 80 and did that. So it's distributed basically per capita, 80% of that, and then there's a 20% component that has to do with poverty and a few other things. So that's how we've been distributing it. Now, as you can see from our webpage, we put up what percentage of the people in each county have received it. And you can see a great disparity. Holmes County is the lowest, and there's many cultural reasons there, and we can go through each county and kind of look and see why that is. But each county is getting an equal share coming in. Now, what we've seen happen and what we've allowed to happen and told them it was great, we've seen a chain drugstore, for example, that was not getting as much uptake in Southeast Ohio in their stores, and they've been able to switch to other stores in other parts of the state. We've had situations where a health department is not using it, and they switch to another health department and give that to another health department. Now the way we've tried to fill the holes so far has been by expanding pretty rapidly the people who are eligible. And that has pretty much filled these holes. So we've not had too many situations where doses are just sitting there for very long. So we've created that tension. Now, though, beginning Monday, we will have done that. And, going forward, we will make strategic decisions when we would expect there to be, without the pressure of continuing opening up to new people. Once you're done opening up to new people, then what we will need to do is we will be more aggressive in moving vaccine around. So we're going to make vaccine available to who wants it. Where there's more demand, we will move more vaccine into that area. The mass vaccination sites, we've seen a pretty big demand, as you know, in Northeast Ohio, in more urban areas. Some rural areas we've seen a significant demand. But if you look at the location of, for example, Cleveland State, that's 210,000 people will get that in that area. And that is over and above what the normal allocation would be for Cuyahoga County. If you look at some of the other mass vaccination sites where we're putting them out, again, that is over and above what the allocation would be for a particular county, because we mean for these mass vaccination sites to be sites where people from the region will be able to draw. So we watch this every day. I have someone on our team who's watching the throughput in regard to our retail pharmacies. I have someone who's doing the same thing with our hospitals, someone who's doing the same thing with our federally qualified clinics, someone's doing the same thing with our health departments. So we watch this literally every day, and you will see us, be more aggressive in moving things around now that we no longer have the pressure of new people coming in virtually every week.
Next question is from Karen Kassler at Ohio Public Radio and Television.
Hi, Governor, and I want to congratulate Randy Ludlow as well. It sounds like you won't be filing a legal challenge over Senate Bill 22. Is that correct? And since that'll be a short answer, maybe you can share some of what you talked with President Biden about when you met him when he was in Columbus on Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't know. My opinion about the constitutionality of the bill has not changed. Whether we file something, somebody else does at some point, I don't know at this point. I certainly don't quote what a president says to me in private, but I can tell you that in general, we talked about our grandchildren. Fran was there with me, and we exchanged pictures of our new grandchildren, and he's a very proud grandfather, and of course, Fran and I are very proud grandparents as well. Talked about what you would expect. We talked about the coronavirus, talked about how things were going, talked about a few other policy issues. So, yeah, it was a very good conversation. I appreciated the time with him.
Next question is from Christian Hauser at WKRC in Cincinnati.
Hi, sir. Thank you very much for taking the time to answer our questions today. Mine deals with the American Recovery Plan and Ohio townships. In February, those townships were listed in the distribution amounts, but once the bill passed and was on its way to President Biden's desk, Ohio townships, along with a few other states, had been removed. I just wonder, has the state discussed the townships and distributing these recovery funds to them if they are in fact left out of that distribution?
Well, it would appear they're left out. Now, we don't know for sure until we see, I guess, guidance. But if you look at the law that was passed, it would appear that they were left out. And of course, townships play, at least in Ohio, a very, very significant role. So that certainly is a problem. You will also see, based on the formula, that we have some schools, Olentangy, for example, that are getting either nothing or virtually nothing. So, we are in the process now of looking at what we should be doing with our state portion of this. And, we're trying to look at the whole picture and see where help is needed, and trying to look at things to do where we can, invest in the future. So I'm well aware of that. was done at the federal level, but it does play out in Ohio, and as you know, we're very aware of that inequity in regard to the townships and also some of the schools.
Next question is from Luis Gill at Ohio Latino TV.
Hello, Governor. How are you?
Luis, good to see you again.
Thank you, sir. Governor, those numbers, those indicators that you had shown us for the last few days, they're incredible. They had shown a positive path into get rid of the virus. And of course, we had to thank, the offensive style, your team, the first responders, Lieutenant Governor, Dr. Vanderhoef, and especially your wife, But Governor, my question is about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, 1 shot, 2 shots. Have you been in touch with them to see the shift in production from 2 shots to 1 shot? Because obviously in our minds, it makes efficiency a lot better.
Yeah, I can't answer that. Maybe Dr. Vanderhoef can. The efficiency of having a single shot, is very, very important. It obviously means you don't have to come back for that second shot, but it also means that you can go in and you can do mobile clinics easier. And there's also certain other populations that might move around a lot, and it might be more difficult to make sure that they get that second shot. Dr. Vanderhoef, I don't know if you have any thoughts on the question.
Yes, Governor, I think you're absolutely right. The advantage that Johnson & Johnson offers is that 1 shot will keep you out of the hospital, out of the morgue, and will give you the protection that I think we're all looking for. So there's a lot that's really very appealing about the Johnson & Johnson shot. One of the other encouraging signs is that now yet one more manufacturer has been announced to come alongside Merck in helping Johnson & Johnson / Janssen Pharmaceuticals in the production of their vaccine. So we're, I think, going to be seeing very substantial and continued increases in the access across the country to this important vaccine.
Thank you, Doctor.
Next question is from Jeff Reddick at WSYX in Columbus.
Hey, Jeff.
Hello, Governor, and from ABC6 as well, congratulations and best wishes to Randy Ludlow. Excuse a political question, Governor. Over the past 1.5 years, you've had a gun law reform bill essentially ignored in the legislature, a president of the United States who maybe encouraged a primary against you on Twitter. You now have a primary challenger, at least one, a major Republican Senate candidate. They both denigrate you in public regularly. That texting while driving proposal you had was removed from the transportation budget, and now SB 22 veto overridden. So with all of that, your friends say you came to the governor's office with a vision for the state. Can you still accomplish that vision within this party? Is it still the party for someone like you?
Absolutely. Texting and driving is going to get hearings. The speakers told me they're going to take a hard look at that. Didn't want it in the budget. Okay, I get it. If you look at, we have 2 bills. I've talked to the speaker, talked to the Senate president about, talked to other members about. One is an amazing police reform bill that we had the FOP involved in writing it. We had civil rights folks involved in it, community people involved. That bill is a very solid bill. We're optimistic about its potential to be passed. We have another bill that really focuses on dealing with what is in the news a lot, and that is violent crime and how we get at violent crime. And we don't have time to go through all the details, but I'm very confident that both those bills can be passed in this General Assembly, and see no reason why they cannot be passed. If you look at the budget that was passed, our first budget, it was a budget that invested in the future. It was a budget that was passed by a Republican Senate and House, Democrats. It had very good support on both parties. The budget that we have in front of the General Assembly, we don't expect them to take everything that we put in there, verbatim, but I think our broad goals are just the same. How do we ensure every Ohioan can live up to their God-given potential? And so, with early childhood education, early childhood development, a focus on H2 Ohio, cleaning up Lake Erie, these are all things where there's a real consensus. So yeah, I'm optimistic. You get setbacks and you don't get everything you want, and that's the way life is. But I'm happy with where we are, and we got more work to do, and we're going to do it.
Next question.
Governor, can I add some? Just want to add to that. I've been doing this for a long time inside state government as a Speaker of the House, and now a member of the executive branch. And these things happen, but there's a long list of accomplishments of where we've worked well. The governor's worked well with the legislature. He mentioned some of them. The H2 Ohio, the infrastructure package, the unprecedented investment in wraparound services to help disadvantaged kids. Literally, as this press conference has been going on, I'm getting texts back and forth from the legislature about how we're going to move forward with our broadband initiative, how we're going to move forward with the $1 billion economic recovery package that the governor proposed. So the working relationship is strong. It has been strong, and it will be strong.
Next question is from Kevin Landers at WBNS.
Hello, Governor. You mentioned you're going to list the assisted living and nursing homes that have not, or that you know of, got the vaccine. What are loved ones supposed to do with that information? Are you encouraging people to call these nursing homes and assisted living centers to complain? How is the state going to assist these people with these loved ones at these specific locations? Thank you.
Well, I'm a great believer in transparency, and I'm to the end of my rope with them, frankly. I don't know what else to do but to make this information public. I think people have a right to know if these facilities are not availing themselves of something that the state is providing that will save lives. I don't know what else to do. So, I'm worried about the people in these nursing homes. And in assisted living, we've taken the number of cases down. It's up a little bit this week, but if you look at it overall, the cases are way, 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 way down from what they were. But we cannot be satisfied with that. We should not be satisfied until we just continue to drive these cases down so that we don't have more people in nursing homes who get the virus. So the only way you can do it, the only way we know you can do it is through vaccine. Vaccine is the way we protect our loved ones in our nursing homes, and it's where we protect our loved ones in our assisted living.
Governor, next question is the last question for today, and it belongs to Molly Martinez of Spectrum News.
Hey, Molly.
Hi, Governor. We also want to share our congratulations with Randy Ludlow. Anybody who's met him knows what a character he is, and it has been an absolute treat working beside him at the State House, and he's going to be missed. My question is, we're reporting that 44 Ohioans are currently being monitored for Ebola, and you've used Ebola as a worst case scenario for the harm that SB 22 could evoke. Now that your veto has been overturned, how do you go forward if it does end up affecting your remaining tenure past the coronavirus?
Well, the legislature said they're going to fix parts of this bill. We certainly hope that they do. And that's really all I can say. We can give you more information. Dr. Vanderhoff, you've got about 45 seconds, Dr. Vanderhoff, you want to give them a quick rundown of where we are with these cases.
Sure, happy to do so. So the World Health Organization, the CDC, all working very closely with the Ohio Department of Health. And they're monitoring outbreaks in Africa, but in remote areas of those countries. That means that while we are monitoring people here in Ohio, the risk in the United States is very low. But I think you're right. I think it does highlight the fact that we live in a global community and that we have to constantly be vigilant for how that global community impacts us right here in Ohio.
Thank you very much. We'll see you all next week. Thanks.